of examples, and I know the consequences as well when cheating and things like this. That's why, like, I don't cheat because I still have these memories, and I know how, especially like in a marriage or things like this, how it affects women and the kids, you know. And also, my father nowadays, he regrets because he's alone, and he regrets what he did. So I think in marriage and things like this, it's more sensitive, like it's more delicate, the situation, of course.
What about you? Is cheating?
Everyone is waiting for this answer.
It's funny. Is cheating different for men and for women?
I don't really understand how you mean this, but what I understand is it's different. If a man can do it to a woman, then woman can do it to a man. If you don't like someone to do something to you, don't do it. I feel it's the same feeling, and me personally, I'm just gonna show you how it feels. And if you like it or not.
My question is, do men and women get equally emotionally attached during sex?
I don't know, because I'm not every woman. I just talk about myself.
Right.
Women will most likely get attached usually, but men not so much. But a man can be emotionally attached during lovemaking, so that's an extreme possibility. But yeah, usually more often women will lean more towards the attachment, and in this sense, when they're talking about men, wham bam, thank you ma'am, usually yes, that is more common with men, but it's more common with men than with women. But still, a man can actually be also more emotionally attached. Sometimes it could be the opposite, where a woman would be like, okay, you're too clingy, bro, and bro's like, well, dang, I had these feelings for you, so yeah, but most likely, yes, women are most likely to become more prone to emotional attachment, while men less likely, but it's possible for both genders.
If my partner can go and do it, I'm just gonna close my eyes and go and do it. You just need to feel the same feeling. I'm not just gonna accept you. Okay, cool, you're a man, you did it, and I'm gonna be fine.
But what do you get out of that?
You just finish it off.
No, yeah, but I'm saying
you just finish it off equally.
It's a bit immature.
I know. That's why I don't have no relationship. I don't believe in relationship right now. Yeah. I don't believe none of that stuff.
Do you know that women? That's a study I've read. I don't know if it's true or not. Do you know that women who go with many men, it's very difficult for them to find stability after, because they keep comparing with other men from the past?
Ooh. Did I say I went with too many men?
Yeah, I'll disagree with this dude right here, because maybe that study is correct, but the same thing does apply to men too, especially if they're being with so many women, they could also compare their current women to the women they've been to in the past, and it's a difficult situation, especially after you have so many experiences. You could always wish that you were dating your ex rather than your current girlfriend or something. Yeah, and maybe your current girlfriend, your wife, is not satisfying you in certain areas, and then you go off and look for something else. So a lot of women in one man's past could also be just as destructive as for a woman who's had lots of men in the past. So yeah, I think this applies equally to both genders. I don't know why they just assume that's only harder for women when it's also just as hard for men. That's what she said.
The guy who cheated on you, do you like the outcome? Do you get something out of it?
Do you feel like
you're not really, but you just feel, okay, I'm not that hurt no more because I did it too, and you move on. I don't believe you should go back.
So
I don't believe.
My question is more, were you always like this, where you could have sex without emotions, or did that come over time? Like the first time you had sex, do you think you could have sex without emotions, or did that come later?
I think.
That all depends on the situation, basically a lot of people's first time is basically without emotions. Now, the only emotion is basically the pleasure feeling, but serious relationship, not sure, it all depends on the situation right there.
Yeah, I do agree. I do think girls can have sex and just be don't have any emotions, just be like, I just want to have sex.
Yeah.
And I got what I want. Mm-hmm. Bye. Mm-hmm. Don't see you again. But I think if it comes proper cheating, I think indeed, I think what was said before, there's a build up for girls. Like there's a build up of that talking and like, you know.
Well, just a slight pushback, yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, like with men, it's more common to kind of be more like, okay, wham bam, thank you, and then with women, it could be more emotional attachment, even if it's just, you know, sex without cheating. Let's say it's not cheating, just straight up just, you know, like releasing some fluids, right? It's still women are still more prone to be more emotionally attached than men, and so this woman's trying to say, well, maybe when it comes to cheating, maybe that's when it's like more emotional. No, I mean, like it all basically depends on the situation, but most likely it's the women who are more prone to being attached, regardless of the situation, whether it's or when I say attached, I'm talking about emotional, like basically emotional, regardless of whether it's cheating or not cheating, right? Like women are still more emotional during sex, more prone to emotions during sex, even if it's like a one-night stand, you know, and men less common, but men also have that. Men also have that, and then vice versa. There's some women, like this person mentioned, yes, some women could just kind of walk away and that's it. Like it all varies. So like these people are all kind of just giving out these black and white opinions, but in reality, like it's all a mixed bag, you know. Not everything's black and white. There's always gray areas.
Or even relationship.
So based on what, like, you agree on this statement? Because I'm trying to understand now, yeah?
I agree from what I've heard people's experiences. But then again, not everyone has the same experience. Not everyone has the same upbringing, the same situations.
Because in
yeah, so this guy's right. You know, not every situation is going to be 100%. Is not going to be 100% the same.
Woman, and she will cheat on him.
Internal. He will suffer. He will suffer internally, and he will keep taking abuse. But he'll bite his tongue, and he'll be like, you know what? I'm going to try my best. I'm going to do everything possible. And then, unfortunately, in some situations, either it doesn't work out and she leaves, or it seems like it's working out, but in reality, the foundation is deteriorating. And it's just a matter of time before the building collapses.
I don't even.
I'm like, that was very philosophical.
Okay, so I have a question. Would you delete your Instagram for the right guy?
Me?
Yeah.
Delete my Instagram. I mean, if a guy wanted me to delete my Instagram, I'd be like, whoa, why? Why do you want to do that? My Instagram's pretty basic.
No, he just says I don't date women with Instagrams. Instagram's the #1 used dating app.
Is it?
I've heard that.
Yeah,
I have heard that.
So I mean, he says, I want a wife, no dating app.
If he wants a wife and he's ready to and we know that this is legit, then why not? But at the same time, he should trust and know me by that time that I'm not. That is not what I'm about.
I just rather not take the risk. I just rather just like, you know.
Well, like it all depends on the situation. If it's something that like before you get married, right? Before you get married. And you decide to, like, basically, you know, like, you could talk this out, then yeah, delete the app, right? Like, do you really need it? Also, it depends on what you're posting on Instagram, too. And so, Pearl just kind of making up this weird hypothetical where you just have Instagram, right? Well, and I don't know why she claims that's the #1 dating app. Maybe it is, but, like, I never, like, really used Instagram for any of those reasons. Yeah, I'll just post mostly photos of me, like working out, because I'm a good-looking ortho bro, you know. So, but yeah, there's like if there's like nothing bad going on in it, like on your posts, on your profile on Instagram, you know, like I don't see why someone would just be offended by that. Like especially if you're eventually going to post relationship photos on Instagram as well. But yeah, like that's like an issue that kind of just, you know, like you need to discuss with the person that you're trying to marry in the for the future, because if they're not willing to compromise on that, like there's like no compromise on something, and if it's a big deal, then like if it's a huge deal that will kind of like make it or break it, then just don't see each other anymore. Find other people, right? So yeah, especially this girl said her app's pretty basic, like there's like nothing there. So I personally don't see why, you know, her app should be deleted, but like but yeah, like but there's a guy who just is so insecure that he does not want to have an Instagram app, then that's something that she and him should discuss and see if it's workable. If it's not workable, then it's not workable. It's not meant to be. You guys saved yourself from a bad marriage, and if it's something workable and you're willing to submit to your husband, then go for it. Delete the app and like make your husband happy. So yeah, it all depends on the situation. There has to be communication. You have to kind of talk. You have to talk about these things.
I'm self-made. I run my business through my Instagram, and that would be giving away something that's dear to me and important, and where I spend a lot of my time as well with work. So
Exactly.
I think it's quite coercive. And
what does coercive mean?
Coercive is where someone goes, if I give you this, then, or if you do this for me, then I'll give you that. It's almost
so it's say that again.
It's if I give you this.
So if I give you something, then
then you get something else as a reward, perhaps. Like coercion is like trying to manipulate or to maneuver people into a shape that you want them to be in. So I don't agree with that.
So it's influencing somebody?
Yeah, but it can be in quite a strong way. Like coercion is actually against the law. In relationships, yeah, it can be.
Well, yeah, because the feminists ruin the laws, so they just make up these words.
I don't make the law, but coercion is a very old word, and.
Well, yeah, Pearl does believe big words are feminism for some reason. So I'm pretty sure if you just say sola scriptura is wrong, she'll probably say, "Oh, that's a feminist word. I don't know what it means." Yeah, so like stuff like sola scriptura is probably too big for her to understand. So coercion, like literally, you don't know what coercion means? Pearl, are you serious? Like, is English not your first language? Come on.
See, with women, it's like we change the definitions of things and we like change words so they don't mean anything.
Can I say what it means? I googled it. Just so
it's with the threat of force, right?
Exactly.
Threat of violence.
Force.
Yeah.
So that's the one part you missed in your definition. The threat of violence or force.
Yeah.
But it's forcing someone to do something.
How is it? It's not.
What you said
choose
was,
to.
But then if you don't
give me this, you didn't say if I give you this, you have to give me this by force.
No, but if they don't want to have a relationship with you because you will not give up your Instagram, then
so
it's a free word. You don't have to.
You don't choose.
Well,
then that's it. Moving on.
Right, exactly. but his whole point is you're using a very strong word, like that's a crime.
It's just like when women. it's just like.
No, I'm saying that in a relationship situation, it has been used as being defined as a crime. But for me, I don't receive coercion like that. Someone trying to trade off something for something else.
How much do you make off of Instagram a month?
I don't think I make money off Instagram a month.
So you don't make money off of Instagram?
No, it's not monetized for me. No.
Oh, so you wouldn't even give it up even though you don't make money off of it? Because you said a business, I just assumed you worked.
No, but I put my gallery on there. I'm a photographer, so I put my work on there, and it's my personal gallery. So it's my way of putting my work out into the world. It doesn't matter whether
what if he got you an art studio and said you can hang them up here?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, Pearl, seriously, like lay off. Like this girl's just a professional photographer. She's got her own art studio. She's promoting her art on her Instagram. Like, honestly, like I don't know if many dudes will kind of have an issue with that. Okay, like she just takes photos and puts them on Instagram. Of course, she did not specify what kind of photos they are, so I don't know. But I'm just going to assume they're just regular professional art photos, and like she just puts them on Instagram, promotes them, right? So I don't think like some dude would be like, oh yeah, now I want you to delete this because I got you an art studio. Okay, come on, that's ridiculous. But again, that's something. Okay, if a guy that she's dating doesn't want her to post her innocent professional photos or her art photos on Instagram, well, then that's something she will have to kind of talk about with the guy with, and and she's okay with that, and okay, fine, delete the app. And she's not okay with that. He's not okay with her posting her artwork on Instagram. Well, then you guys move on. Okay, I don't know why Pearl's kind of pushing this idea where you just gotta delete the app once you're dating somebody. First of all, that's just dating, right? Like, and so like while you're dating, you're already trying to figure out if this person is marriage material or not. And if they're not marriage material for you, like this person's not going to be, like I'm not going to be happy with this person, and this person will not be happy with me, right? Then like fine, you guys should probably not get married. You know, you should break off the whole dating thing immediately, right? And so, yeah, like that's something you just figure out like ahead of time, right? But I don't know of any dude who would actually have a problem with their girlfriend, their fiance, their wife posting, you know, just artwork on Instagram. So I don't know why Pearl's trying to kind of be like, oh yeah, you're like, I know what she's trying to do here. Oh, so you're a bad woman. You'll not obey your man if you're not, you know, like, yeah. So like, Pearl just trying to kind of manipulate this girl into kind of like probably saying, oh yeah, you're not gonna listen to your man. You're still going to defy him and put your artwork on Instagram. It's like, okay, that's an issue that they will discuss as a couple, okay? And a lot of times you don't know. Maybe she will eventually delete that, delete the app. You know, it all depends on the person like she's married to as well. Maybe she actually really loves him. She'll give it all up. So you never know. Like at the moment, like you don't really know the future 100%. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say on that.
Would you delete your Instagram for the right guy?
I'm not even on social media like that. I don't even have full time. I don't even have full time Instagram.
Would you stop cheating for the right guy?
All right. But this is exactly what I was saying. Okay, it's just because I say like I do say yes, I do cheat. It doesn't make me the wrong person. Like all of these people that they don't say.
Look, I'm not judging. I'm just asking the question. Would you stop cheating for the right? You meet Mr. Wonderful. He's tall. Whatever you look for, you're tight.
Okay, the reason I'm not in a relationship is just because there is no one deserving me not to cheat on. Doesn't make sense.
So every guy you meet deserves. So if you dated any of these three guys here, five guys in this room,
I really believe that relationship is very simple. You say what you want, you like it. Like you talk. You just need to talk. You just need to be honest with each other.
Okay.
If there is something you don't like, you just move on. I'm
asking you if you liked everything about the guy.
Yes, I wouldn't cheat.
Okay, thank you.
I wouldn't cheat.
Would you delete your Instagram?
I don't even have Instagram part-time, like full time.
How'd you get recruited on here?
Yeah, like Pearl was trying to get this girl to say, she was trying to manipulate this girl and saying, oh yeah, so like you're a bad woman. You're not to delete your app, right? And the girl said, yeah, she's not going to cheat. And like this girl, she made sense. You know, she said, yeah, you just gotta talk, right? Be honest, say what you want. And again, this is dating, so this is not even marriage yet. So like if you're just on a date with somebody and like you have standards, that person has their own standards, regardless if their standards are wrong and yours are correct. You know, you have to just straight up say what your standards are, what you believe. And if it's not working out, just break it off. You know, okay, like this is not going to work. And this girl just kind of said something that just makes sense. You know, just be honest, just say what you want, right? And Pearl's just like not having it. Oh no, you just must obey. You must obey. Why should she obey just a simple boyfriend? She's not married to the guy, and that's another thing too. Like being married, and then like and then the submission question should start kicking in, right? But like you're not married yet, right? These are people who are just dating. So I don't know why like Pearl's just saying that people should be submitting to a guy who's not even a fiance, right? This person's not even a fiance, and like she's like, oh, would you delete your app for the right guy? Well, it depends on the guy, it depends on the situation, and like everything all depends. You can't just be 100%. Oh yeah, like I'll totally delete it. I mean, like, yeah, like there's nothing wrong with deleting the app for the right guy. There's also nothing wrong if some of the guys are okay with you having Instagram or vice versa. It's like, yeah, it all depends on the situation. Just like that girl, like plainly told Pearl, just be honest, say what you like. If you don't like it, move on. Okay, it's not that hard. Like I don't know why Pearl does not have this basic knowledge, this basic understanding. Just move on, go away.
They could. Men had to screw as many chicks and impregnate them and protect them. Okay, that's why I think it's similar. because you're fulfilling both of your mating strategies when it comes to like your biological level. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why, since Instagram's the #1 dating app, and if he wanted, Drake, Kanye, any of them could message you. I'm not saying they will, but I'm saying they could, right? That's why I'm saying it's basically an invitation for any guy to message you at any point during your relationship.
Good, but like, for example, I think it depends as well. My Instagram account is private. Like, I don't accept people. If I don't know you, a lot of people I don't know, I won't accept you on it. That also has to do with my job whatsoever, blah, blah, blah.
Do you have your face on it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but the people that follow.
So I understand Pearl's point here, but at the same time, she's implying that like if a guy messages a woman, she's just going to automatically cheat. That's also, basically, dishonest on Pearl's end. And she has her face on there, okay, so like I have my face on there, right? Well, actually, I'll say this. Like, my girlfriend, she does not have her face on Instagram, right? Well, she does, but it's not in her profile. It's like in one of her photos that she has, right? But like, but basically, it's a place to get messages. I get messages from women, okay, right? And my face is on there, okay. Like, why isn't Pearl questioning my motives? Like why I have an Instagram, right? Like, it basically, like, we're in social media. We live in a world where basically you need social media to promote yourself and to promote something. Maybe people will, like, buy your products, whatever that you're trying to sell. And unfortunately, like sometimes, you just have to use the tools given by this corrupt modern world that we live in. But Pearl's like, oh yeah, it's an invitation for guys to message you, okay? And this girl, like right here, she, this one right here, she just like said, okay, well my profile is private, not everyone can just like message me, right? And like me, for example, like some people, they'll follow me and I'll be like, oh, this person's cool. I'll hit the follow back button, and immediately it'll say, okay, request has been sent. So like my profile is more open. Like basically most people could follow me, right? I don't have this kind of where people have permission, where people need to ask permission to follow me. They just follow me, right? Like, but other people like who follow me, like I try to follow them back because like either I know them or I think they're probably cool, right? Or we might have some political agreement, right? I'll try to follow back and it'll be like, oh, sending requests to that person. So yeah, but Pearl, she has YouTube, that anyone can message her there. I don't know if Pearl has Instagram or any other social media, but then like shouldn't Pearl delete whatever social media she has because, it's room for it's an invitation for cheating. But then again, Pearl doesn't have a boyfriend, from what I understand. So I guess it's kind of okay for her to have some social media. But like I'm wondering if Pearl will delete her YouTube. Will she get rid of her show for the right guy? Like this, all the studio, everything that she has right now, the right guy comes into Pearl's life. Will she delete it for him? Will she give this up for him and say, yes, honey, like it's all over. We found each other. It's over, right? Like let the romance begin. Will Pearl actually give all that up for the right guy? And I'm starting to kind of doubt that Pearl will do the same thing. Like she wants all these girls to delete whatever social media apps they have for the right guy, but Pearl most likely probably not do the same.
Like him as well.
You're not gonna like him.
Everything
You're gonna get bored.
At a certain point, definitely. He might have bended to your rules for that curve, but eventually it's not gonna work out.
And let me tell you something. My last relationship, and the most healthy I had, to a point. So I asked her to delete her Instagram. Wow. I had Instagram back then.
Why did you ask her to delete her Instagram?
Because I found it useless for her.
Why?
She was not making money out of this.
But do you need to have Instagram to make money out of it?
Why you have it then? Just to promote yourself? Where?
Yeah. Sorry.
I like how the cheater gets it.
You should all go through the proper cheating to understand some
First
stuff.
of all, let me tell you what I did.
Okay, go ahead.
I told her to delete it. She said yes immediately. And I deactivated my account as well. But she didn't ask me, is the difference, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And now why I said it? Because there is no reason, any reason at all, for her to like upload pictures on Instagram or anything. Why? For who? I'm in front of her. She can wear anything she wants. She cannot wear anything
maybe she's not doing it for you. Maybe she didn't want that for maybe family, friends, if she lives abroad, whatsoever.
Family, friends, she can send her mother on WhatsApp.
That could do.
Call them.
Yeah, there's no reason why. And because she was like a bit famous for what she was doing in an international level, so there was many people there on Instagram. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, like his reasoning is actually more legit than what our Pearl is suggesting. But yeah, like he explained, like, you know, like I don't know if that's his current girlfriend or his ex-girlfriend, but like but yeah, so also, yeah, it makes sense, you know, if like you're posting like pictures like you're really good looking and there's like lots of guys following you, right? And the question is, you know, for who are you posting at this point, you know, like. And I would say like that could still be tolerable if there were more selfies with as a couple, you know, where you could have like, you know, once a week you upload a new photo with your man where people could see that you are taken, right? And so basically it would kind of diffuse the situation, right? Or like he said, you know, like for who are you posting at this point, right? And I'm assuming, you know, she had more than just regular photos, more than basic photos, right? It's probably like, because he said she had like an international following, so yeah, so right here, yeah, like kind of makes sense, you know, like you kind of set your boundaries and you tell her, listen, you know, I'm right here, like I'm your man, like why, you know, for who are you posting, you know, like you already have a man, I'm the man, right? Like a good question. She out of love and respect says, you know, yes, makes sense, perfect logic, delete the app, right, and boom, and so. So yeah, and he also deleted his stuff, right? He deleted his profile as well, just to be fair too, like not to be this, you know, hypocritical husband where, you know, or hypocritical boyfriend, I guess, in this situation where he says, hey, yeah, you delete all your stuff and I keep my stuff. No, like basically, like it's like it's a relationship, it's a true relationship, right? And so, like you prove to her, listen, babe, like I asked you to delete your app. You did it, and I delete my app too, just to show you that, you know, like basically we're on equal footing here, where we have the same level of respect for each other. And so yeah, that's a good thing. In this case, yes, in this situation, but yeah, like basically like his like it's understandable. Like you know, his girlfriend has a huge following, lots of guys following her. It's a risky situation, and his girlfriend understood. She respected that, and boom. And he deleted his stuff as well. And again, that type of mutual respect, you know, like comes from honesty and telling each other, you know, what you know, how you feel, and again, you're not married yet, you're still dating, okay, you're still getting to know each other, and yes, and she agrees to that. Well, then like, and you agree to this, obviously, because you initiated the whole app deleting. Then there you go. That's your woman. That's your partner for life. And like, yeah, like, so more power to that guy and his relationship. Obviously, like I missed out like half of what he said, or most of what he said, but like I'm assuming that's probably his current girlfriend. If that's the case, then yeah, he has a good future wife if that's his girlfriend, because she's willing to sacrifice her social media life just to be happy with him. And so I hope that's the case, and I wish blessings for this guy if he's currently dating that same girl.
You don't have to respond. I wouldn't respond.
He doesn't have to respond on Tinder. He just wants to see the women that message him.
Yeah, I get your point, but at the same time,
just to look at them.
I'm curious from the men. Have any of you been messaged by a celebrity woman? Anyone?
Ooh. Yeah.
Where's the Tinder boy? Where's the Tinder boy?
Bring him back. Bring him back. Probably had it all. Yeah, but they're just friends.
Yes, I've been messaged by a celebrity woman, and those are all fake catfish profiles. and they're so obvious. So you just tell, like when some big celebrity just messages you, and they don't have that many followers. They probably have 1,000, maybe like 5,000 followers, right? But there's something off, right? There aren't that many pictures. There isn't much information, right? And then the way they speak English, like the way they write things down, you're like, okay, there's something fishy about this. Yes, so yes, I have received messages from from celebrity women, but they're all fake profiles. So, and it's all obvious. It's obviously those are fake profiles. Why would a celebrity who has got like 5 million followers just randomly message you?
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah. Who?
Right now, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Maximilian White. He's the biggest cannabis. Maximilian. I can Google him.
What does he do?
I don't know. He just
goes. Cannabis. That means drugs.
What? He's a criminal.
No, he's not.
Okay. Anyone else? Any names? No. I respect it. No snitching. Okay.
That's him.
Let me see. I've never heard of him.
You're very brave, today, saying things straight, raw.
I wonder if she's referring to Giga Chad, but I don't think that's his name.
To sleep with your husband. Do we feel bad if you get cheated on?
I mean, first of all, why would you refuse to sleep with your husband? Like, what's going on?
1 out of 4 women do it.
I don't know what to say.
Why'd you do it in the first? Why'd you sleep in the first place?
What?
Why did you have a sexual interaction?
They're married.
The first place? There's a lot more buildup before marriage. It's not like you just met. Like, oi.
Right, they're
get married. Let's go.
No, but so I've talked to divorce attorneys about this. Like, what happens typically is the woman, they'll have 2 kids and then just stop sleeping with their husband.
What happens? Their libido drops. They're just not interested. What? I don't understand.
I think it's a control method. Really? I mean, like, because it's like they'll sleep with him if he does chores.
It now belongs to me.
I mean, like, that's partially true. Yeah, like, basically that could be a control method, and this girl mentioned maybe libido drops too, right? But at the same time, right, like there are ways to go around all that stuff too. Like, there's like, like, especially if you're trying to preserve your marriage is sacred, right? And your husband has needs, and you're trying to prevent your husband from cheating. Well, you as a couple need to kind of figure this out and talk to your priest, pray to God for that desire to return, whatever. There are ways around this, but also, of course, I would say this, that like most likely, if a woman is not in the mood, it's most likely she's probably cheating, because she probably is disgusted by you at this point, and she basically prefers to be with someone else. So, like, basically, with men, it's actually less kind of sus. Yes, men who are not in the mood are also it's probably sus. They're probably cheating with someone else. They're probably disgusted by their wife. But it's most likely because a man is legitimately tired. Like, a man's like I'm actually like tired, right? You don't just wake that ding dong, every minute, like, basically, like, the body needs to rest too, right? But like with a woman, it's like how can you be, even if you're tired, right? You just kind of, open a certain location and then, bada bing, bada boom, right? And so even if you're not in the mood, right? But the husband's in the mood, and so the healthiest thing to do is kind of work around it and like give the husband what he wants, right? So most likely, if a woman does not want to sleep with the husband anymore, right? Usually it's probably cheating on the woman's part, most likely, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just something else, like just the woman probably feels guilty or some emotion, something weird and emotional. You go talk to your priest, and like you try to figure this out. You could talk to the priest's wife, right, and try to share this information there, where like, what's going on, right? Why can't like, why isn't this happening, or as a couple, go together to your priest as a couple and have this discussion in private with the priest, and and try to figure this out. There are many resources to go to figure this out, why the wife is not in the mood, and but most likely, I'm pretty sure it's usually sus. It's very suspicious when the wife is not in the mood. That's just kind of weird. And it doesn't have to be weird, and it's not always weird. Sometimes there's something else going on, right? There's probably no cheating at all, and something needs to be fixed, right? But if there's like no cheating, but here's the thing, but if there's like no cheating, and there's nothing wrong with the libido, there's nothing wrong, where you're just not in the mood and you're not just giving to the husband ever. Like, don't be wondering why the husband's so suspicious, right? Like, why did you get married in the first place? You know, because like basically, it's not just about you like being with the person physically, right? Like when I say physically, I mean just hanging out with the person. It's not just hanging out with the person, like talking about things you like. It's also physically expressing your emotions, and how do you do that is through some very very fun lovemaking, right? And so if a husband has a very valid reason to suspect a wife who's not in the mood all the time for some hot lovemaking. So it's kind of sus usually, but if that's not the case, then pray about it, talk to the priest. There are ways around the situation.
No matter where the money goes, that's just
it should go to the kid.
If it was a legal thing, it should always go to the kid. 100,000 million% to the kid.
Obviously, there's some bad situations where women do abuse the system, but we can't ignore the fact that this was created for this. Well,
I mean, we can have the reasons, but I'm saying look at the outcomes. And the outcomes is more single mother homes. Every problem in society is really, it goes back to single mother homes. Like, I spoke to a guy that works at the homeless shelter down the street. I said, why are these people homeless? What's the number one reason? Single mother homes. They're more likely to run away from home. They're more likely to have mental problems. Half the kids that you see shooting up a school are from single mother homes.
But we have to talk that most of guys don't want to stay with the kids. And they mostly say, and the other thing is that on court, like I said it because my parents got divorced. I was 9 years old and the judge had to ask me and my siblings, who do we want to stay with? And they would take it from a child, right? So most of guys, be honest, if you get divorced and you have to say, like, would you prefer to stay with the kids or you think it would be better? I would like to ask
I'm saying the reason that men don't fight for, I've interviewed so many men that are in the process of getting divorced and fighting for their kids. The reason they don't fight for it is because the system is so stacked against them. It is.
This is where Pearl is wrong. Basically, most men who do fight for their kids in a custody battle, they get at least 50% of that battle. Like they win 50% of it, and so I meant to say they'll get 50% custody, and this happens most of the time. Most men who do fight for their children in a custody battle, they'll get 50% custody, most likely, most of the time. Now, at the same time, most men who most men don't go to court because, let's just be honest, laziness, right? But Pearl is simply just like trying to kind of say, the system's rigged against them. Well, it can be basically it can be rigged against men too, but at the same time, it's also proven that most men who do take the time and effort to fight for the kids get at least 50% custody. So, and I don't know what kind of guys she's been interviewing, but some guys simply just don't really care, and a lot of times, if they're here's the thing, if it's possible for you most of the time as a man to win the battle, right, and you just don't try to fight, you don't go to court and say, let's try to do 50-50, 50% custody, well, that's on you. You chose not to go to court, right? Basically, don't just kind of divorce it, say, I give up. Okay, well, that's on you. You gave up on your kids. If you did not go into that court and say, I want some kind of custody, right? And if you did not fight for it because the system's rigged against me, you're just seething and coping at this moment. So if you're ever in a situation like that, and you want to be around your children, go to court, fight for them. Majority of the times you'll win. Majority of the times you'll get 50% custody. That's the vast majority of times you'll win 50% custody. So don't come up with this excuse, the system's against me. It is, but you can still fight it. You can still win. You can still win at least 50% custody. So, but Pearl is just trying to kind of manipulate the situation. Most guys that I talk to, you're just talking to lazy dudes or dudes who are not really being honest with you. And then again, has she been talking to most dudes? I don't think so. I honestly think half the things Pearl says she kind of just makes up or exaggerates.
time. I'm not saying from experience, but from what I see, it's like women have a lot of control nowadays in Western society when it comes to this matter.
And in the UK, you get a free lawyer if you accuse a guy of abuse. If he's been arrested, you get a free lawyer. So women have like incentive to accuse men of abuse, and you can kind of see what's real and what's not by looking at who has pressed criminal charges, and it's less than 10%.
The lawyer still works for the government. He doesn't privately work for you unless you pay him.
What?
The lawyer works. Like he's a solicitor. He's a public defender.
Yeah.
Like they say in the States. He doesn't work for you in your favor. So he'll go based off jurors, based off.
And the other issue too is their number one client is from the women's shelters. So if they win too many cases for the men, it kind of backfires because then they don't get clients from the women's shelters. It's like a whole money. It's really crazy. I'm doing a whole documentary on it. It's so insane.
In comparison to like UK and US.
I mean, it's
just in general, like globally.
I'm focusing more on the UK because it's like it's definitely, I would say, worse here across the board. But the US, it kind of depends on the state you're in. And I've heard Ireland is like worse than here, but yeah, I'm doing it mostly in the UK.
Okay, so basically, whatever she's saying does not apply to people in the United States. So dudes, don't listen to this manipulator. Okay, so like. Yeah, because the guy told her, okay, so compared to the U.S. and UK, she goes, oh, well, I'm focusing on the UK. So yeah, so it's not even 100% the same in the United States, and it's true. Like basically, in the United States, it all depends on the state you live in, the county you live in, the city you live in, and so like not everything is like black and white and 100%. You know, like not everything is 100% guaranteed to be against you. You could still win. And so, yeah, like that guy actually just straight asked her, well, like compared to what, like US and UK? And she kind of goes, oh, well, yeah, the UK. So, like, so not everything like is universal, right? Not everything in the divorce court system is universal. So it's not going to be the same in the UK. It won't be the same in France. It won't be the same in Germany. It won't be the same in Russia. It won't be the same in Iraq. Like basically, like it all depends on where you are in the situation and the environments. And so yeah, but unfortunately, like Pearl kind of like she just said she's focusing on the UK, right? So like but then she's trying to imply that whatever happens in the UK just kind of is universal around the globe. So yeah, so Pearl's definitely not being an honest actor here.
And but like I said, it goes back to like you're one, your communion, you're together, right?
Yeah.
So like you got to give and take.
I just think the feelings don't matter at all.
No, I mean, if you're really like, having a bad day and all he wants is like to canoodle, like you might just be like, dude, seriously.
I mean, once in a while, guys are understanding,
But for like months on end or for like years, no, that's just not right.
There's guys that haven't been like had sex in like years in marriage.
Yeah.
No, that's not true, wrong.
That's not right.
Guys are pretty simple though. Food, banging.
It's true.
That's all you need.
What about you?
I don't know why someone would want to have sex with someone that doesn't really want to have sex with them. So I think if the answer's no, then that's that debate there.
Can you cheat then? If she says no?
I think he can ask for permission to cheat.
Could he just do it?
He shouldn't just do it.
Oh, I don't.
Okay, that's just straight degenerate. No, so basically, again, like, unless the wife is on her monthly visitor situation, then like in that case, dude, like F off. Like seriously, you don't want to like talk to a woman during her certain situation that happens once a month. Or I think it's once a month. Again, I'm not a biologist. But what I'm saying is that like, basically that's probably like the only exception where like the woman says no. Or if you're Orthodox, you guys know that there are certain holidays that we follow that like the wife will be righteous and tell the husband no, like please let's not sin on this day, right? Like okay, right? Like or like there's like I said a monthly visitor. Then yes, like that kind of makes sense where the wife should just be like no. But if it's just a normal day, it's kind of sus. Why? Okay, so why'd you marry me? Because do you want me to cheat? Do you want me to sin? Like, do you want me to like fall into sin? Like basically, why don't you give me what I want? But like this is stuff that should be discussed prior to marriage already, right? Like basically, okay, like because you don't want to get married to like a prude. Like first of all, it makes no sense to be a prude while you're married. Like how will you ever reproduce? How will you continue the bloodline of your family if you're being a prude? And this applies to both sides, right? Because there are a lot of dudes who are boring prudes too. Like, dude, like, do you you're married to like a wonderful woman, and like you're not interested in kind of making her happy as well, if you know what I mean? And but yeah, like if the wife's being a prude for no reason at all, like just makes no sense. Like, okay, like why'd you get married to this dude? Why'd you marry him? Because like basically you're supposed to reproduce. God even said to multiply, to like basically like be fruitful and multiply, right? So we're supposed to. It's God's command to also like create children. And so how do you create children? Well, they're not found in a cabbage patch somewhere, right? So yeah, mom and daddy, where do kids come from? Well, like we all know where kids come from. So like like don't be a prude. Like don't be suspicious. Like don't be a prude. Like if there's like if it's not a holy day, if it's not a certain monthly red carpet visitor, then there's like no reason to refuse the spouse, right? Like for the woman, if you're a husband, now for the husband, it's more acceptable to just say, okay, I'm tired, especially if they had a really long work day, right? And certain hoo-has are not operable at the moment, right? You might have to kind of give them like a couple hours of sleep or something before. Like it all depends on the situation, like kind of this is like so. Yes, it all depends on the situation, but cheating is still wrong. You should not cheat. You should not cheat on your spouse. You should always pray. You should always pray to God about this. You should always pray to the saints to give you strength, right? But don't be a prude, for men and women. If you're married and it's not a holiday, it's not certain other days, then there's no reason to just hold off and be like, oh, I'm not in the mood. Well, get in the mood, okay? Get in the mood. We're going to create some babies. Yeah, but also that's not an excuse to cheat. Okay, so moving on.
It's about
feelings, commitment, sacrifice.
Okay, so it is about feelings.
Yeah, definitely.
I would disagree.
I would strongly disagree.
I think if that was true, then India wouldn't have the lowest divorce rate where it's arranged.
They have no feelings. I guess it's not that they have no feelings.
It's about duty, I think.
Yeah, it's about duty, but then there's also have to be some feeling and consideration backed behind it, because if there's a duty, okay, your duty is to go hunt and kill, but behind that duty, there's a purpose. If you don't kill, you don't eat. Nobody eats. You can eat by yourself, sure, so be it.
Do you think it's good to rely on feelings?
Not so.
Not 100%.
Nah, it depends on
depends on the situation.
No, it does. Okay. I do not agree. But then there's always a situation.
Should a guy protect and provide when he feels like it?
Should a guy protect and provide when he feels like it?
Many of them do.
Why not? Because he feels like a duty as an alpha. Yeah, he'll feel it. Even if he feels that he knows that it's negative. But
if there's an intruder and he's scared, should he run away?
If he runs away, then he's not. If there's an intruder and the man runs away, and there's a household full of women and children, male or female, they're under the age that cannot protect themselves, and the male alpha runs away.
Mm-hmm. So he shouldn't do that based on his feelings.
He shouldn't do that anyway.
No, I'm saying he shouldn't rely on his feelings when he's scared. He should rely on his duty, right?
Instinctively, duty. Okay. And I say this for myself.
Okay.
Instinctively.
Would you say it's the same for women and sex?
Instinctively and duty for women and sex?
So I think what Pearl is basically saying, I think what she's trying to imply that basically it's a woman's duty to kind of give it to her man. And like I said earlier, you've got to talk about this, and it is kind of sus. So why'd you get married if you're not gonna put out, right? So, but yeah, the dude's totally a beta male if he just like runs away. There's an intruder in the house. you leave your family behind. Yeah, you're getting shamed, bro. Yeah, it's like because Jesus Christ said, actually, I think Pearl would be surprised to hear this, but Jesus Christ, said that like it's a man's duty to protect his wife because he has to give up his life. He has to love his wife the way Christ loved the church, and Christ died for the church. And so the husband has to be ready to die for his wife, and that's his duty, regardless of his emotions. Even if he is scared, right? His duty is to stand up to the intruder and protect his wife and the children as well.
I don't see no reason.
No, not saying that no reason. The question was if he was allowed to cheat. That's something different.
That's good. So, do you think there can be a reason why a man would not consider a woman's emotional need in a relationship?
Yes, there is a reason. I don't know what it is, but
do women always ask what is the reason why he's not considering before they start making problems? Do they try to find out the reason why the man is not fulfilling his end of the bargain, or do they just start causing trouble?
This is why couples fight. This is why, because they don't maybe communicate, and they don't really consider
Does communicating typically lead to the problem being solved?
No,
not if they communicate in a bad way.
So why would men communicate more?
And they are scared. Men, they are scared to communicate sometimes because they know the woman will do a big fuss. Yeah. And maybe they will end with a big fighting and argument, and they don't want that.
I disagree on that too.
Who communicates better, men or women?
Depends.
Yeah, that's communication. Basically, she's kind of right. Like some men are not really interested in communication because some women could actually make things worse. Like you say, hey, let's talk, and then the woman would be like, well, she'll presume certain things about the man or whatever he says, and the man just kind of, I don't want to talk about this, just kind of get it over with, right? And they'll become pushover. And unfortunately, men go through this, and manipulative women take advantage of this, and so because a lot of women, they also don't want to communicate too. Like they just want the man to make them happy, and so a lot of men, they want to make their wife happy, but then they kind of avoid communication because it could lead to a fight situation, and women could take advantage of this. So that girl's pretty spot on about that.
Women have brainwashed society into thinking we communicate better, but we communicate worse.
I don't agree. I don't really agree.
Do men?
I'll say yes. Basically, I think men are better at diplomacy. It's because we're still able. And when I say men, I say on average, right? Basically, most men probably could be better at communication, but then again, you could have some Antifa cuck who just debates purely based on emotion and not based on any logical reason. And so, yes, I think men are better diplomats, men are better at communication than women. Because men would just kind of say, here's the logic, boom, 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 right? And a lot of times women would be like, well, they'll disagree because they'll feel different, oh, you hate me or something because you explain logic to me. And again, this does not apply to all women too, basically, but women who, and again, this mostly applies to bad women. Okay, so this applies to a woman who's bad, or a woman who may not be necessarily bad, but probably just does not understand how relationships truly work, right? And she kind of needs to work on this. But yeah, usually a lot of this stuff applies to bad women, and I think what Pearl's doing here is she's generalizing this. And so yes, because a good woman would kind of hear out man's logic and just kind of submit to it, even if she doesn't agree and she doesn't like it, she could still submit to her husband's logic and reasoning, right? And they could have better communication with each other. While a manipulative woman or an aggressive woman, who just wants the man to be her doormat, she will not like communication. She'll view communication as some kind of threat to her power, because the man could bring in some logical arguments and say, well, what this and this, and she'd be like, oh, you're a bad man. You're verbally abusing me, although he's not. He's just being logical, but. Yes, and of course we see this politically, any verbal disagreements, if it makes someone uncomfortable, that's kind of viewed as abuse. unfortunately. And like, so bad women are definitely bad at communication. Like this, so a lot of this does apply to bad women. Like they're just like not really interested in communicating at all. And some women, they may not be necessarily bad. They just kind of need to learn how to communicate properly.
They're like, we're not dealing with this. Okay, what about you?
Okay, on this, like, I have a different opinion. I don't think it will make it a bad wife if she doesn't sleep with you. I strongly believe that as a practical man, I should try to find why is that happening. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, maybe or not. But if let's say I'm doing everything right, yeah, I wouldn't like wait too long.
Do you think women reward good behavior?
No.
So then why would you look to see if you're doing everything right?
Recognize, but no.
Well, okay, so I like what he said. Like, like at first, like maybe I am doing something wrong. I need to kind of figure out like what is this, right? But then, if I am doing anything right, then it kind of doesn't make sense. So yeah, I like his argument here. But then like Pearl says, do women reward good behavior? Well, like some do actually. So like she's asking it as if like women don't, right? Like yeah, like some women do reward good behavior, but like and then she's saying, well, why would you be asking yourself if you're doing something wrong? Because what if he is doing something wrong, right? What if like what if he made her a promise about something? He just kind of breaks their promise, obviously, like you're not keeping your word as your husband, as a husband or as a boyfriend, right? So like that could be I'm just bringing up a hypothetical situation, right? Like, but there's reasons, well, sometimes it's good for us guys to ask ourselves, what am I doing wrong here? You just analyze first, and then if you come up, you have your calculations in your brains, then you realize, wait a minute, I did nothing wrong. That's when, you could start being suspicious of the woman. But at the moment, it's okay to kind of just ask yourself, let's see here. Like, I need to figure this out, right? Like, most men are mostly, like, logical, and we try to figure out what is wrong first before we, open our mouths to speak, right? And so, but Pearl's asking this guy, but why would you ask yourself, if you did anything wrong? Like, because according to Pearl's logic, men don't really do anything wrong at all, ever. But that's just not true, so.
Week till she's a bad wife?
Yeah.
See, this is why the men want to stay. They're like, whatever.
I want to say, when you marry, it gets different.
Yeah.
It's different. Now,
have you been there?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. That's
talking to like, go ahead.
Yeah. I just feel like when it gets to marriage and you're together forever, because you're going to be forever, you just need to please each other with whatever the other person asks. And that's why, again, I'm going back, that's why from the beginning you should say, okay, I don't like this, you don't like this, are you willing to do this? Are you not willing? And it's just simple conversation for me.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, same. I keep going back to like, what's the reason? Why talk?
Yeah, like basically, like have a conversation, And I think this one just mentioned because I have trouble understanding some of her accent, but I think she was trying to say that like before the marriage, you should already have this talked out, right before you get married. But yeah, like you just have to kind of talk and communicate with each other. This applies to both parties, and so if one of the parties is just not communicating, well, then there's just something wrong here.
And to say like, but there could be reasons if you've never had.
There could be reasons.
But I'm saying if you personally have never had a reason, like, why is your gut reaction to go? There must be a reason.
Because why wouldn't you want to have sex? Like, why wouldn't you want to sleep with your partner?
Yeah. Do you think women can be controlling?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. Do you think women use sex to control men?
They can do.
So that happens, right?
Yeah, of course.
But it's just interesting because you've never had a reason to not have sex, yet, but that women can control men through sex, but your gut reaction is still to protect the woman.
That's maybe
but men can force women to have sex as well. Right?
Huh?
Men can force women to have sex as well. Like we agreed that men are stronger, right?
Not legally.
But it's not intelligent then to make this other question, if you are not considering the other things as well. And I think last was, I know we are talking about generalization.
What happens if a man forces a woman to have sex?
Then it's rape.
You will go
So
right?
So what'll happen to him?
he will go.
He's gonna go to court, right?
Okay, so he'll likely go to.
Yes.
Do you think the justice system favors men or women?
In this case, a man is forcing a woman physically to do.
When they married.
Well, like I think Pearl's kind of digging a hole for argument here.
So my question is, he cannot just have sex with her because the court will prosecute him, right?
If it's physically forced.
Correct.
Right.
So he can't just force sex.
No.
Even
physically.
Okay.
Physically.
Correct.
Even if they're married.
Correct. Even if
physically.
Even if they're married, he can do. You sign the paper. You're mine. I'm yours. I can do whatever.
No, you're wrong.
Like that.
Excuse me. You are wrong.
Very wrong.
If you say someone like that's wrong, doesn't matter if you are married or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I grew up. I don't
rights on no one.
No. It used to be thought of that way. That it's like lifetime consent. But now the feminists kind of get in there. And
I don't know if this but similar things to this happened to my mother. Mm-hmm. My mom and dad, they married 34 years and they're still together just because my mom sit down and just, okay, you're my husband anyway, so.
Okay. Why do you, so I'm curious.
Yeah.
Why, if your parents were together 34 years, why are you so anti-relationship? It seems like you...
Before I go further into that whole thing, so I guess what Pearl's trying to say that like if she was married, like it's okay for her husband to just kind of grab her anytime. I mean, like that'll be like an ideal relationship. I mean, but then again, there are situations where basically it's just not wise to just randomly grab your woman because for whatever reasons, right? But I don't know what Pearl's trying to kind of dig at. Like, it's okay for a husband to be abusive towards his wife. Now, yes, it's very suspicious why a wife is not in the mood to kind of satisfy the husband, and that should be an issue. But at the same time, at the very end, like it's just wrong to force someone to do something they don't want to, right? Because it's very sus, it's very suspicious. You should talk to the wife, be like, hey, what's going on? Like is there some cheating? You should start investigating. Like, why is she not in the mood? But you should also kind of protect yourself as a man and be like, and have more honor and be like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be the guilty party in this one, right? And just kind of be like, okay, what's going on? Like, figure out what is going on. And sometimes there could be some legitimate reason where, but now the woman's fault is where she just does not explain what's going on, right? So, basically, if she knows that her husband is kind of has more aggressive tendencies, right? And she's not communicating to him what's going on. He might be like, you know what? If you're not giving me a reason, I'll just kind of, and it's wrong what he's doing. But at the same time, there is no communication from either side. It could lead to this. And Pearl is just simply saying, I guess, screw the communication. Just let the man just kind of just straight up do whatever he wants, even if it could lead to actual physical abuse, right? And so this girl explained, her parents were together for 34 years, and her mom just kind of said, you're the husband, whatever. So then again, that's also her mom's choice right there too, right? To kind of just be like, you know what, I'll not create a scandal. Our marriage is sacred. I'll fight for a marriage. Her mom just fought for a marriage too, in that way. But everyone's different too. So, as men, we should also be stronger and we should also not be the guilty party. If we're being cheated on, we must make sure that person is the guilty party, not us. But yeah, it's very sus if a woman does not want to satisfy her man, but at the same time, straight up at the end, just it's a major risk. It's a major risk if you start forcing someone to do something they don't want. And sometimes it might be a legitimate reason, and the woman just afraid to tell her husband why, right? And yeah, and so not every situation is just black and white, and Pearl just trying to be like, oh yeah, well, so you're saying like a man, he's gonna be in trouble. Well, yeah, especially if he, because what he could do could also cause physical damage to a woman too. So it all depends on the situation. It all varies, right? And not everything's black and white, and Pearl does not see everything. With a little bit of gray in the area, she views everything as black and white, and she views things one-sided. And I think Pearl is just trying to just get all these male simps to follow her, right? Look, guys, I'm defending you, right? I'm proving to you that all women are bad, except for me. I'm the good Pearl. I'm a good woman here. But yes, I don't think Pearl's getting married anytime soon.
Women.
And I say that because maybe because to be honest, Pearl's saying a lot of things that a lot of MGTOW guys like to hear, but let's be honest, do MGTOW guys really want a girl like Pearl? Really? They want the women that are on the panel, like guys will probably be more attracted to at least most of the women on this panel rather than Pearl. Just saying.
Me, but what I know and my opinion.
Men were because they were the only ones. Why would you create a system to?
So I have a question.
They had to protect our country.
I have a question. If they say you have to do 50 push-ups to enter, and you can't do 50 push-ups, how are you oppressed?
It's not. It's not about that. But
okay,
that's not as simple as it is.
So answer. So then you're not oppressed. You just can't pass the
test. No, but if all I've been doing all my life is being at home because the only thing that I can do is be at home.
Name one housewife in the media. Name one housewife in the media.
I'm talking about then.
I'm talking about society tells us to be housewives. Name one in the media. Name one.
How did it start? Because society wants us back into the house. I don't understand. We don't want to be like
propaganda.
Who's in the and I could give you.
I know a lot of housewives, and they're happy.
Yeah. But also,
Kim Kardashian, Cardi B, they're in the media.
But also going back to the war, when it was the actual wars, women were serving, women were helping out. When it comes to the
nurses,
even here in
World War
Britain
II and stuff like that.
What percent?
I don't know the percentage, but they were helping out.
Can I say something?
Okay. Do you think women were equally as helpful as men in the military?
That's not what I'm saying.
No.
That's not what I'm saying.
I need you to answer I'm asking you.
No, I think.
Well, I'm pretty sure most people know that women were not equal as men in the military during the First World Wars, right? A lot of women served as nurses, and a lot of these nurses saved many lives, right? First World War and Second World War, and usually, a lot of these women were actually brave in the battlefield, and for example, you've had women would be in the battlefield, basically there's bombs exploding around them, artillery shells, and they're patching up some guys' wounds. They're trying to women will try to drag the men back to the trenches, back to safety if they're wounded, right? So the percentage, yes, that's probably not majority of women, but historically there were women who helped out men during battle in battle, and they're brave about it, and they were not feminists. A lot of them were not feminists. A lot of them were anti-feminists, right? For example, the Night Witches, who were actual female bomber pilots during World War II, they still remained feminine, and I think the only one that kind of could be labeled as a first wave feminist was probably the leader. I forgot her name, but the leader of the Night Witches, I forgot her name. It just slipped my mind, but she probably the closest thing you could pin down on her is probably maybe first wave feminism. That's it. That's the closest you could get to that. The other women were also mostly effeminate, girls, college girls who ended up serving their country out of patriotism, and a lot of them got married, had children, and they were not feminists, right? So not all this military stuff leads to feminism too. It's just that it was also a different time period where people were more traditional than today. So, but I don't know what Pearl should get at right here.
Percentage relative to the number of men.
Yeah, if there's a smaller percentage, there's going to be a bigger.
Sorry, I think it's the social media tested our loyalty and respect that we have for the people around us and for ourselves as a person.
I don't think it tested. Sorry,
I don't think it's important to country because it's everywhere.
It to the world.
It changed it.
So he said, do I go and see if someone I like in my life?
Not if someone you like in general. Do you check how many?
No. No. But
Okay, guys. I think basically this is the end of the stream. So
mostly the people that comment are like friends.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna fast forward this. Yeah, I think the stream's over. Like, okay, yeah, the stream is over. So yeah, well, like, so I tried to. Oh, my tongue's getting twisted here. So I tried to do some debunking here. Like, there wasn't like too much controversy. I did join up a little bit late, which did the live thing. So I'll try it again. I'll try to do another video on Pearl. But this is like kind of my first attempt to do some debunking on Pearl. But I'll do some more debunking about on Pearl and her issues a little bit later. Especially when she did the live podcast with Jay Dyer, Rachel Wilson, Tim Gordon. Yeah, she was totally seething and coping there and just like freaking out. But yeah, so this is my first attempt with Pearl. I'll do some more attempts to debunk her later on. But like, I think this live thing was pretty cool. I think within the first 10 minutes, I think my audio was messed up within the first 10 minutes of this live presentation. So forgive me for any audio issues. I'll try to cut out like the first 10 minutes if that's the case. So yeah, well, God bless you guys and take care. Also, go to my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, share this, and go to my Patreon. Go to patreon.com/altmonarchist and support me there with donations. Right. God bless, guys.